Good morning. Good morning. How are we? Are we good? Is today a good day? Good. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I don't really know where to start. I don't know where to start. So, yeah. Good morning. It's Wednesday and I'm unemployed. But that doesn't go without saying that I haven't applied for jobs because right now I'm going on month 6 of applying for California state jobs, which hasn't it's not paying off. But weirdly, like I was saying in my other video, things just kind of happen. Things just kind of happen, and I feel like I'm given opportunities and signs that I need because last week I went and I gave blood. Yeah. Uh Real quick before I get into that story of like how it's all divine. The phlebotomist that took my blood, she is now going to work for like a California state prison and be a phlebotomist and do drug testing, which good luck. Good luck. Cuz everybody's going to be on drugs. Sorry. That's so negative, but it's true. So anyways, she gave me some advice about the current stance of California state jobs, and she was saying that she recommended to do something different that I haven't been doing. I've been applying to permanent full-time positions, and she told me to go for limited term contracts and then just go and sell the shit out of yourself when you go in, and because she got contacted within 3 weeks. This information is only relevant to people who are applying to the state, which, yeah. So, anyways, I feel like that information helped me go in a different direction of how I'm applying because if you've applied to the state, it's a headache. It's a headache. So, and I've applied to probably like 30 positions at this point, and like the turnaround on getting a state job right now is 3 to 6 months. So, but I've applied to everything. Like I've there's not one division of the state I haven't applied to. So, but I'm highly knowledgeable. So we'll see. And that's why I'm focusing on my creative side. It's because mommy needs money. And mommy used to be the West Coast hustler, but now mommy is the West Coast beggar. So, but anyways, aside all that, when I went and got my blood donated, I haven't gone for like 10 years. Literally like 10 years. I didn't realize that it's been so long, and that's actually kind of embarrassing because I'm a universal. Yeah. I'm a universal donor, and you guys really are feasting for this blood. But she told me something that they didn't tell me the last time was that I am negative of this virus that I guess 85% of people carry in the US. Um why was nobody telling us that we were all carriers of a virus, first of all? So anyways, the fact that I'm negative of this CMV, look that up. My blood goes straight to donating to babies. I am a baby saver. I don't have babies, but I'm out here saving babies. So yeah, I'm gonna go donate every, I think it was like every 50 days I can go donate. So what I originally wanted to do was donate platelets and do that pretty much every month, or donate plasma. But actually, after doing research, I figured out that for my scenario, if I was to do that, I would actually be, I think, like minimizing the nutrient of what I'd be donating. So it's actually better for me to just do whole blood donation or red blood cell donation. So I think what I'm going to do next is red blood cell donation, um because they can directly pull my red blood cells, and you can use that for more. So it'll either go to cancer patients or infants. And the fact that I'm donating through Vitalant, which is a good company. Um sorry, I'm all out of breath. I'm out of breath because I gave blood. Because I'm literally down a pint. So I've just been, girl, I had so much energy and now I'm just like, oh. Um, but yeah, I donated through Vitalant and they go to local hospitals. So where I'm at, there's a Shriners Hospital literally down the street. So I know that my blood is going directly to children in need, which perfect. Love that. So yeah, I'll be going back again in October, and me and my stepdad are gonna make it like a little daughter and daddy date, and he's gonna donate platelets, and I'm gonna donate my red blood cells. But yeah, so this is that's my battle scar. See that? It's actually kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie. Hell yeah. But that's also because like you can't see anything on my arms. Like there's no veins to be seen. So you kind of got to dig. You kind of go. Anyways, so that's my story. That's my story. What I want to get into today is one of the events that I just shot. So a couple weeks ago, me and my boyfriend did like a little adventure up to Tahoe National Forest for an event that somebody actually recommended to me. I had no idea what this event was. I am semi in the horse space, but this was a whole other beast. Like, this was crazy. And I'll get into the whole story of everything that happened with that. But to introduce you to what it is, give me 1 second. Guys, it's like actually insane how winded I am. I feel like it's a lot. It's a lot. Like, I don't know if you know this, but you only have 10 pints of blood in your body. So giving up a pint, that's 10% of your blood source. It's irritating too, because I was like back on my grind, and then it was just convenient for me to go donate blood that day. I was like, let's go donate blood. And now I'm just setting myself back. But that's okay, because I'm not doing anything. I'm eating healthy. So whatever. Okay. I literally have 10-second Tom brain. Um, this event that I went to is called Tevis, the Tevis Cup, Tevis 100. So what it is there's horse endurance racers from around the world. I didn't even know this was going on in my backyard. Tevis Cup, 100-mile endurance, means that people from all over the world come to Tahoe National Forest, and they train their horses. You have to get qualified, first of all, with like 350 miles of endurance qualifications before you can even get qualified for this. And you and your horse are riding 100 miles within 24 hours through the deepest cuts of the forest. Like when I say deepest cuts, I'm saying like Bigfoot territory. Like bears are swiping at you like Mario Kart as you're riding by, kind of energy. And how do I know that? Because me and my boyfriend tried to hike within this area to go take pictures. So like mad respect. So much respect for these people. It's insane. Um so yeah, I got this opportunity because there was a point where I was just like over summer I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to go like take pictures at different places." And sorry. Okay. Sorry. That was really throwing me off. My glasses. So there was an opportunity for me to go and take pictures of the last stop of the Pony Express, and from that I posted those pictures to my Facebook. It found the Pony Express organization, and from there I just got traction from a lot of different people. So this one person had given me different events to go photograph, and she was like, "Hey, reach out to Tevis." So I did, and I guess there's multiple photographers throughout different points of this 100-mile endurance race. And originally the person had given me like an area that was out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. I I think we got those spots because we're the newbies and nobody else wanted those spots. So, um I should probably edit some pictures while I'm doing this. So, long story short, we drive all the way up to Truckee, which I don't know if you know where Truckee is in California if you're not from here, but Truckee is like between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe. And it's a little town. And then that's about it. A little town. And then they wanted us to drive like deep into the cut of where everybody was going to be staged and do their initial check-in. And since it was my first time, I had no idea the easy way to get to things. Throughout this entire journey, I had no idea that there was simple paths. But for me that's not in my plan. I don't ever get simple paths. It's always this is a journey. It's going to be a journey. So, we end up driving through like 6 miles of logging road, and there's professional BMX riders like doing fucking backflips while we're driving by, and I'm like, are we in the right place? Where are we? Like my vehicle, I drive a Dodge Durango. My vehicle, she's like a little city girl. We're not like Toyota 4Runner, like Toyota fucking rock crawling. We drive city streets. We're meant for the street life around here. So why are you taking us out into the backwoods? So anyways, we drive 6 miles up this territory. We're having to like swerve off at certain points because big ass truckers are just like rolling through with logs. And I just like, my map is telling me where to go. It's saying, oh, you're on the right direction, but it's definitely not feeling like the right direction. It's feeling like we're lost. It's feeling like we're gonna get a flat tire and die out here. So we make it 6 miles up into these hills, And then all of a sudden, there's like horses everywhere. There's trailers tucked into the middle of the forest. There's people like, there's people, there's human beings. And that was just like, that was such a good feeling. I don't know if you've ever had an experience like that where you're just like, you've lost all hope, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, thank Lord. Thank you. So, anyways, we get here. We're going through the whole, like, finding the lead photographer. He's telling us what we need to do. I check in, I get everything that I need. And then he's like, okay, well, to get to the place where you need to go, you're going to have to backtrack like 4 hours and drive back to the location where you're going to shoot tomorrow morning. But if you don't do it today, you're going to have to fight everybody tomorrow. So I'm like, we just drove 2 hours to get here. And it took us another additional 45 minutes just to drive up this logging road, which was 6 miles. So I'm like, okay, give me some coordinates. Tell me where I'm supposed to go. And this guy who's been doing it for 10 plus years, bless his heart, bless his little heart. He was a nice guy. He's a cool guy. I was thinking that all of these people that have been doing this for years and years would know exactly where it is, would have some like coordinates. Give me a map location. Give me something. Something, please, for the love of God, give me something. No. Thank God that I am like a resourceful person. I took screenshots of where I thought things were supposed to be based off of like putting two and two together. Like I felt like CIA. I was like, I'm in there, dog. So I showed him a screenshot of where I thought it was. And this guy, just from visualizing the map, was like, oh, yeah, that's it. That's right there. And he's like, you're going to have to come in through this way and like avoid this road. And so I'm just like, in my head, it's like putting math together. I'm like, okay, okay, okay. I got it. Okay, I think I got it. But he's like, okay, well, avoid going down this road. Well, my maps didn't want me to avoid going down that road. My map was like, bitch, this is the way. This is the way. We're going to go this way, actually. So prepare yourself. So I don't know who is familiar with Tahoe National Forest, but there's a place on Earth called Mosquito Ridge Way. I'm sorry. There's a reason why this place is called Mosquito Ridge Way. It's because you feel like a mosquito on a ridge. It's because this place has no guardrails for 45 minutes. It's a place where slate rock is falling off the side of the mountain as you're driving already on literally this whole adventure was like a Mario fucking go-kart race. You're like trying to avoid slipping off a mountain while banana peels are on the ground and tree branches are flying at you, and then other cars are just like flying by you that clearly know what they're doing. It was girl, it felt tumultuous, to be honest. Like it felt like a lot. So clearly we were in the wrong place. Clearly we fucked up. So I, for the grace of, like, I'm so happy that I chose to put some money in my gas tank because I felt like we would have been lost and dead. And Bigfoot would have definitely got me. So we're driving down this road. My boyfriend doesn't stress about much. He's a Marine, but he was stressing. Like, that's when I know that I should stress, is when he starts stressing, because he was scared. And I was scared. I was terrified. And we're inching along this Mosquito Ridge Way for 30 miles, but it took us 2.5 hours. Well, my maps is like, keep going, just keep swimming. You're good. You're good. Well, it takes us down to the bottom of the mountain, the reservoir. There's a literal reservoir like 20,000 feet below us. And when we got down there was people. There were people camping. There were people with campers and boats. Sorry. The only way to get down to this reservoir is to drive Mosquito Ridge Road. Who are you people? That's not to be disrespectful. Who are you? Like, I want some of that courage. I want some of the, I respect you because these are people that were like enjoying their time. No service, zero cell phone service. So we get down to this reservoir. We're passing humanity. I'm like, oh, again, one of those moments I was like, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad to see people down here because I thought we were lost. So we get down to this reservoir and I'm like, okay, we're in the right direction. We're doing something. We are doing something. And so I'm like, okay, well, we got to be close. We've got to be close to it now. No, of course not. Of course not. No, of course not. We're 7 miles away, but 7 miles of treacherous roads and dangerous paths and probably some like satanic cult territory. So we're passing, I'm actually going to edit a photo while I'm talking now because I've just been going through everything and nothing. So we're going through this path of the end of life. And sorry. See, this is like I can't do stuff like this because then I get all mixed up. So we're going through and we pass like the last campsite that I think I'm ever going to see in my life, like the last chance of people that I will ever see in my entire life. And I'm like, ooh, like they're looking at us as we're passing by like what you would see in a horror movie, like don't go, come back, you're going the wrong way. And my boyfriend at this point is just like, oh yeah, okay, we're doing the right thing, we're going down the right path, this is an adventure. This is what I dreamed about as a kid, like Jurassic Park adventures, rock crawling. And I'm like, but we don't have a rock crawler, we're not driving a rock crawler, we're driving my city girl. Y'all, when I tell you that the road that we continued down on became gravel and it told me it was 6 more miles, tell me why. Tell me why. There was a witch symbol on the sign. And I'm looking at it like, oh, fuck. Like, I've heard about these places up in, like, in Auburn and, like, in the deep cuts of the forest up there where people actually have done, like, a lot of sacrificial stuff and your car will, like, stop working at certain points. And, like, there's so much evil that's bred up there that, like, your car just shuts off because like the spiritual, you've just driven into like Satan's den. So we continue driving. The forest just starts caving in on us. Like it felt like we had entered the Twilight Zone, which is an adventure for my boyfriend because it's his favorite show. Um, so we're driving and the forest is just like starting to just like that on us. The trees. I've never seen trees so close to each other. There was a tree within like every 2 feet of it itself. And then I'm seeing, which I guess is normal. I guess it's normal, but I don't know. There's like teepee looking um fire piles everywhere. And I'm like, somebody's gonna light every single one of those on fire and we're just gonna burn alive in here. So we're driving. My car is just like and I'm like, I think we should turn around. I think we should turn around. It's like my car feels like it's gonna fucking fall off the edge of this road. And we finally get to a point 3 miles in which we got more miles to go until we supposedly meet the end of the rainbow. So we get to this one point and the whole road had been washed out by some type of flood. So the point that we were at this point was a place that only a tire that was probably 3 times the size of mine could go over. And my boyfriend is getting out of the car and physically moving boulders because he's like, oh, well, we can just drive on top. And I'm like, no. No. I was like, does one sign not feel like enough to you? Does one like washed out road not feel like a big enough adventure to you? Because this is where I stop. And I don't cry easily. I don't get scuffled easily. But this had me panicking because, like, if the witch sign wasn't bad enough, I got out of the car while he's doing all this, like, manipulating of rocks and earth for us to four-wheel it over. I start hearing cracking sounds as though trees are falling and like fucking Goliath is running through the forest towards us. And I literally was like, get in the car. We're getting in the car. Get in the car. I want to go back. It's almost 8:30 at night, which it's almost dark. And I'm like, the last thing I want to do is get stuck in this in this in this. And I'm like, if we don't die from this, we will probably die of something else. So thank the Lord. He got in the car and I like helped him turn around on this road that was like about this big and my car is about this big. So we turn around and we leave and I was like, this is not the way. There's no way that 75 horse trailers have gone up this road. There's got to be another way. So we end up camping at one of these spots out in the middle of nowhere, like pay by envelope. That's how you know that we're in the wrong place. I didn't even have enough money to pay by envelope. I paid for the senior rate. And I was like, I hope they don't come because I can't pass as a senior. I hope they don't come and check. I don't even have my gold member card. So we camp in the back of my car, which we were going to do anyways. And the next morning I was like, okay, well, if we're gonna try to figure it out, we could try to get up around like 5 o'clock. So we finally get to bed. We're we're up at 5 and it's just like pitch black. And I'm like, you know what? Honestly, at this point, I just don't want to. I'm like, I just don't know. So, anyways, he told me, he was like, well, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do, we'll do it. And so I choose I choose to make my life miserable. That's what I always like to do. And so um I was like, we don't have a lot of gas, but I feel like we can find where we need to go because I just don't want to give up on this opportunity. There's something in me that's telling me that this is going to be a really good opportunity for me. And so we end up going back up past this reservoir and we find the road that we're supposed to turn off of. And it was a whole other, like, it was 6 more miles. I don't know why ever 666. Don't know why everything has just led up to this. Like, is real. Okay, this trip. But the devil doesn't get me down. No, no. So another 6 miles up this road, and it's bad. Like, we're bumping and we're grinding, and I broke my passenger like shade mirror because it just felt like everything bad was happening on this fucking trip. And so needed to hydrate. That blood was dropping. So, anyways, we get up and my friend is trying to call me, which by now, like, for some reason, we have service. So, my friend who I invited to come photograph with me had made it, which I'm like, how did you make it? Let's talk about that. Which way did you go? Because how is everybody driving up these roads? How is everybody getting here? She's out here. She's out photographing where I was supposed to originally photograph. We drive up 6 miles, and then all of a sudden, again, like hundreds of people just emerge out of nowhere. There's clipboards, and there's cars, and there's golf carts, and there's tents. And I'm like, how the fuck did you guys do this? How did this happen? So, anyways, I find a parking lot, and I was like, we can't drive anymore because it wanted us to go another 6 miles to the next vet check to take pictures of where this like elephant's trunk place is. Sorry, I don't want to drive somewhere that's called Elephant's Trunk at this point because I feel like I've gone up elephant's ass, back, and fucking head at this point. So I'm tired. My car is tired. My car is literally like breaking down. And so I tell my boyfriend, I was like, we're gonna park and we're gonna try to walk to this next point. Like, you think that the end of the story would have come already. No, it's not. It's not. So we're walking, thinking that we're gonna make it another 6 miles of hiking. And we walk like 2 miles in to this venture. And I told my boyfriend, I was like, don't bring protection. Because I was like, there's gonna be people. There's gonna be people, so don't bring protection. There was no people. There was no people. None. And I just keep seeing tracks. I see like hundreds of deer track, like it's fucking Lion King of the wildebeest running through, like something was after them. And then I start seeing bear tracks, and I'm like, maybe our fate was to die together. Maybe this is like a little Romeo and Juliet story of how we died just trying to do something cool. And I finally told him, I was like, let's just turn back. Let's just turn back because horses are going to start riding through. And at this point, I'm going to take a picture of a fucking horse wherever and whenever at this point. I was like, we're not getting to Elephant's trunk. We're just going to take a picture in the middle of the forest at this point. So that's what we did. We turned back and we found a spot towards the beginning where all the people were like maybe a half a mile up. And the pictures that are seen, like, I'll show you. It ended up being this very like dusty place. Just it honestly it felt like my whole journey wrapped up into one, but I was like, I'm going to make that shit work. I'm going to make it work. You think I'm playing, but I'm going to make this work. Because there was another photographer there and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to move now because it's going to get really dusty." And I was like, "Okay. Okay. I'm going to stay here because I've gone through too much to leave now, and if a little dust is what scares you off, baby, I got you beat. Cuz mama don't give up a fight. Mama don't give up a challenge." So we stayed and we end up taking like some of the most cool pictures I've ever taken in my life. So this was beforehand. These pictures were like at the first check-in, the first day when we went up to Truckee, and people were doing like all of their initial vet checks, and you have to trot your horse, make sure that everything, like, they do this at different stages throughout the event. You have to do like vet checks every so many miles. And so people were um people had to do this with their horses. And so this is moving forward into going up into the mountains. Beautiful. When I tell you it's beautiful, the journey to get there was not beautiful. So these are the pictures that I got, and I was taking pictures, and like people are like, "Oh my god, it takes so much skill to take pictures like this." And I was like, to be honest, I was just taking pictures with whatever energy I had left in my body to take pictures, and I was like, I'm just going to use the skills and the knowledge that I know about photography to get what I can. I was like, okay, wait for dust to settle a little bit, take a picture. Wait for dust to settle, take a picture. Move into the light. Make sure that light is shining. Like, use light as your source. Use light retracting off of things as a source. Like, it's just, I was just using basic camera knowledge. But this is what I got. This is what I got. To me, I was like, but this is also editing too. Like, I use Adobe Lightroom, and I've learned how to use masking, which is like a huge tool. I don't do any Photoshop. I don't like to manipulate things to look different than what they are. I just like to play with light and color. And I think sometimes that's what people aren't used to. I mean, it's a simple thing. I don't think a lot of people use it in the way that I do. I'm sure, like, all over the world, I'm sure there are. But within our local, like, photographers and things like that, I think I just have a little different style, which has just come from me not knowing a lot. It just comes from me doing something different. So, anyways, these are the different pictures that I shot along the way. So cool. Like, horses are really cool people. We're happy. This was something that was cool to me to see, is that you were capturing people in a moment where they hadn't seen anybody for like 10 miles of really hard terrain. And then all of a sudden you see a human being and you're like, the end is near of this one part. And I like, you get to be that person that's like, oh, you're so close. You're like a, a fifth, a half a mile away from the next vet check, and you get like a 5-10 minute stop. So anyways, it was cool to like capture people's reactions to seeing us, and then you get to be another person who is a light of encouragement, which that was really fulfilling for me. Everything that had led up to this point, moments like these are what make me happy and what like fulfills me. So this going through these moments and seeing these people, these are people who are like cutthroat people who do this all the time, do this for a living. They train horses to do this. Like these horses themselves are athletes, these people are athletes. So this was like a whole new experience for me. Look at how cool this is. But the dust, girl, the dust, she was really working for me. And even the other photographers were like, you planned, you, that dust, you made it look like you planned that. And I was like, thanks. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just taking pictures. But yeah, what I like to do is I like to mask the background of things like this where you have rays of light coming through, and then you bring the highlights down, because the highlights is what pulls more of the detail out, and then you raise the exposure, you raise the white light coming off of things like this, and then you increase the light overall of the picture itself with the person. I like to balance things out with a little bit more yellow. So when you're working with light, for me, I like to pull some yellow out. So that's what you see a lot of my pictures is there's more yellow tones instead of blue tones, just because I like the way it looks. It's very ethereal, and I feel like it kind of blends in with this like oh moment. So anyways, they turned out so cool. I'm not gonna lie, they turned out really awesome. And this community of people was fantastic. Like they're so cool and they're so nice. And there wasn't one person who was upset. There was one person. There was one person. She was a little annoyed because she kind of had a little tood. She kind of had a little tood. I was trying to be a voice of encouragement and I was like, "You're almost there." And then I heard her talking shit as she rode away, and she was like, "Almost there isn't helpful." And I was like, "Okay, well, good luck. Good luck." Anyways, I try not to be bitter. I try not to stay bitter. Um, but I get it. I was empathetic. I was empathetic. I understood. I was like, okay, this girl literally just rode like through the mountains for almost 30 miles. I was like, I know she's tired. So I get it. And so after that, I was like, you're 0.5 miles away. You're literally almost there. You're 0.5. 0.5. So, um, it was a really cool experience. Oh man. And I think what's going to come from this is like different cool opportunities. Like I'm going to start doing more portrait photography with people and their horses. I want to do like actual portrait photography of horses and just expand a lot. I will show you my absolute favorite photo. I have a lot here. Let me do this so you can see all of them. Dude, there's so many horses that I loved. Okay, this photo. Oh, this guy, this moment took 30 seconds max. 30 seconds max. This was a 30-second video. Like, we took slow motion videos of all the people running with their horses too. This photo got me like 5,000 likes and I think like 500 shares on my Facebook account. I am so impressed by myself. I was like, the whole experience of everything that led up to this point, this made it worth it. And this was the first picture that like spoke to me in my mind. I was like, I should post this first. This set everything off. It was like a domino effect. From here, people started coming onto my page. I got 500 new followers from this event because this sparked it all. And this guy was like the embodiment of endurance because it's like you and your partner together, and sometimes it's not always going to be like a combined thing. Sometimes you have to get down and dirty and do it together. And like his vibe and like all of it, all of it. I didn't even know that he did, like he was like, I didn't even know that he did that until I was going through my photos. And like both of them have their feet picked up at the same way. It would like, this whole thing is just like crazy to me. And then another one that I really really loved, which she totally deserved all the love and praise, was, where is she? Let me see. Yeah, there's just so many cool people here. This person right here, she, it was funny because like her horse didn't see us, so she was up there like 100 feet up, and she's like, "You made my horse pee himself." She was like, "You scared the pee out of my horse," and I was like, "Oh my god, you're so cute. You're so cute. Why are you so funny after you just like rode 30 miles through all of this shit that we had tried to, like, I had so much appreciation at this point for everything that we had gone through, that like to see somebody with this much joy and happiness and like a bright demeanor, I was like, you're different. You're different. I like you. And I posted about her and I said something around the lines of that without knowing who she was. And it just happened to be that like she had gone through some really horrible things. Her house burnt down. She hadn't done this for I think like 9 years because her house burnt down in 2017. And so this was her first time back, and this was her year that she was completing her 10th Tevis. So not only did she complete another 100 miles with her horse with this much love and grace, but she completed her 1,000th mile of doing this. And in her hair, she had her past horse's hair. It's my bird clock again. She had her past horse's hair braided into her hair. She, like, what an angel. What an angel. She's so cute. So between her and that guy, and then a couple other people that I had the opportunity to photograph that I learned more about, um it was just so cool. Another writer that I really like got to know afterwards, her name is AP Davis, and she's been a sweeper, which a sweeper is the person who rides at the end of all the horses to make sure that everybody kind of is like swept off the trail, I guess. But she's been doing that for years, and she's like known about this since she was a little girl, and now she got to ride it. And she got to ride it with her quarter horse Jeepers, which I love my animals, and I know when people love their animals, and I know when an animal is loved, and that horse is loved. And I love that. Cuz that horse, like, I want to meet him now. He she had a gay wedding for him and his lover horse. And he looked like he was eating it up. I loved it. I'm such a Jeepers fan now. So, um It was just like the whole thing. Like these people are so cool. I love all these people. They all have these great stories, and it was just like it was such a pleasure to see all these people and get to know these people afterwards. And I hope to go back and like this is them. Look at the horse. Look at him. Oh my gosh. He's so cute. He's so cute. But yeah, like this was iconic for her. So to be able to have like take these moments for people and like share them with them so that they can have them forever, I was like, this is so, I love doing this. See, I love doing good things that turn out to be good for other people. That just makes me really, really happy in life. It really does. And I told my boyfriend, I was like, I feel like this was one of those lessons where you have to go through some really tough bullshit to understand and appreciate good things in life. So, yeah, it just turned out to be a really cool experience. And I had people telling me that they've never seen anybody take endurance photos like this before. And I think it was just because I haven't. I haven't. So like I like to edit, I like to put color and life into photos. So, will I go back? Probably. Do I know the way now? Yes. I will not struggle again next year. There are actual roads that people drive. But all in all, it was a great experience. And these people are badass, and I have so much appreciation for them. But yep, if you want to see these photos, you can go to my Facebook, my Instagram, and my website. They're all there. Um, and you can just show these people some appreciation. But yeah, yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.